It seems odd to say good morning just before lunch, but it's actually, that's where we are. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 version of the Centurion program. I am Steve Turner. If we haven't met, the president of Northeastern State University, it's my honor to welcome you on behalf of all of the great folks, alums, friends, supporters, fans, everyone involved with Northeastern State. And to our honorees, we'll say a lot more about you, but we are so pleased that you're here. And to the family members that are here representing an honoree, thank you for being here. I hope that the day is encouraging to you and that you find something today that you can hold on to and it makes it a great day for you. Each year, the Centurion Honoree Luncheon aligns with Northeastern State University's Founders Day, which commemorates the day the Oklahoma legislature purchased the Cherokee National Female Seminary in 40 acres and ultimately created Northeastern State Normal School. This event took place 113 years ago on Sunday, so it's March 6th. I realize that today is March 4th. That act, which was House Bill, Representative Culver, you remember which bill it was? Where are you, Bob Ed? You remember, do you know which House bill it was in 1909? Number one? Well, you missed it a little bit. It was 236. It says an act providing for the creation and location of a Northeastern State Normal at Tahlequah, Cherokee County, Oklahoma, for the purchase of the Cherokee Female Seminary for that purpose and for the maintenance of same and declaring an emergency. Section 1, a state normal school is hereby created and established to be known as the Northeastern State Normal, located at Tahlequah, Cherokee County, Oklahoma, and maintained as other normal schools of the state already established. A committee composed of the governor, the secretary of state, and the treasurer is hereby authorized and instructed to purchase from the Cherokee tribal government at the appraised value the buildings and campus known as the Cherokee Female Seminary, consisting of a modern 3-story brick building with electric lights, steam heat, library, desks, and other equipments necessary for an up-to-date school, together with 40 acres of land appertaining thereto. So even in 1909, Chief Baker, it was an up-to-date modern school, and it wouldn't have happened, it wouldn't have started without a huge investment from the Cherokee people. So shout out to both the Cherokee Nation and the state of Oklahoma. So to everyone here today, faculty, staff, both current and former, then we have alumni, previous Centurions, NSU supporters and friends. Today is a day to celebrate Founders Day. Before we begin enjoying the meal prepared by Sodexo Food Service, I'd like to introduce a couple of special guests and then acknowledge a lot of efforts by several folks who made today possible. It's always my pleasure to introduce first my wife, Penny. So Penny, thank you for being here. She's probably the #1 NSU volunteer. So she gives a lot of her time and I appreciate that. We have the cabinet members. One of these we'll say a lot more about a little bit later, but I certainly we appreciate the 4 VPs, Dr. Debbie Landry, VP, Provost and VPAA. We have Dan Mayberry, University Relations, Christy Lansall, VP Administration Finance, and Dr. Jared Freeman, Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. Thank you, Cabinet. I see Peggy. Peggy, if you'll stand. I think a lot of you know Peggy Glenn. Peggy is the director of the foundation. And through our collective efforts and under the guidance and watchful eyes of the foundation board, in calendar year 2021, in other words, what just ended on December 31st, NSU set a historic record by awarding $1,028,000 in private scholarship support for our deserving students who many, by no fault of their own, have unmet financial needs. The first time ever that we crossed $1 million at NSU. Yeah. We're thankful for the generosity of our donors, and I realize that several donors are here today. I'm not going to ask you for anything other than for you to have a good time. Peggy might. But I can tell you, if you go back 10 years ago, our foundation was at about $16 million. Today, it's over $46 million. So that came about, record giving levels came about because people care about our students. So thank you all. Yeah. I would just say, we do have some unmet needs. And if you want to find out what those are, see Peggy. Okay. The following individuals played a role in making today's event successful in planning. Please stand as I call your name. We have Nanny Johnson, Jennifer Zender, Adam Childress, Randy Grogan, Matthew Payton, Ken Rivas, Robin Hutchins, and Annika Anderson. If you would all stand, it should be noted, just a minute. Yeah, thank you all. It should be noted that Annika is the primary coordinator of this event. And is this your first one in the row? Because she came on mid-year. So great job, Annika, right? Thank you. We also want to mention that the talented staff of archives and the other folks in university relations or communications and marketing, they help us with research. They provide historic information. They make sure that the flyers are ready, the announcements are out. So thank you to archives and communications and marketing. Thank you so much. I know you were greeted by some outstanding young people who are part of the NSU President's Leadership Class, PLC. So some of them may be sitting there back there. So to each of you that had a hand, thank you. Let's stand, PLC members, and we'll welcome you today. Great job. And actually, I think it was a nice touch to be escorted to the table. So I don't know whose idea that was, but it was a nice touch. Thank you so much. Lastly, but most importantly, and the reason we're all here today, I'd like to introduce Northeastern State University's 2022 Centurions. Much more will be shared about these honorees later in the program. Please stand as I call your name. And I do know that Sully is running a little bit late, so we'll get him. But first, we have a wonderful lady, Joellen Culver, who's here accepting award for both she and her late husband, Bob. So Joellen, please stand. Yeah. Inspirational lady, Dr. Ebony Johnson. Would you stand? I had a wonderful visit. Good to see you. Someone I introduced a moment ago and who has done so much for NSU and continues to do so much for NSU in many roles for many years, Dr. Debbie Landry. Thank you, Dr. Landry. We have Dr. Daniel Savage. Good to see you, sir. Congratulations. We have Dr. Paul Westbrook. Dr. Westbrook, welcome back. Also here today to accept awards being bestowed posthumously, we have some of the family of Dr. William Beal Bright. His son, Brad, will be representing the family. Brad, would you stand? Thank you, Brad. Thank you, family. And thank you for making the trip from Florida to be with us today. At the request of Jay Hanna, now I know when you hear the word Jay Hanna, most of us cringe, but there's some family circumstances and health concerns, not his, but others that do not allow him to be here. He is the great nephew of one of the honorees, LD Starr. The family's asked that I accept that medallion a little bit later in the program, and I'm happy to do that. But give a shout out to Jay. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah, thank you. And then the family of Richard Zellner today, his daughter Leslie Presley will be representing the Zellner family. Thank you, Leslie. Now it's time to eat. I'd like to invite today's honorees and their table guests to join Penny and me as we lead the way. Everyone else, please follow behind them. We have identical buffets on each side of the room. Please make the way to the buffet closest to you. I invite you, please, to use the hand sanitizer stations prior to filling your plates, and let's enjoy the meal and each other's company. We will begin the presentation portion of the program in about 20 minutes. And for those of you that are having to watch this recording, we hope and pray that this is the last year that we have to restrict the number of attendees due to concerns about COVID-19. So welcome. Penny, if you'll help me, we'll lead the way. Let's have a good time and enjoy the meal. Thank you. Well, welcome back, everyone. I trust that you enjoyed the meal as much as our table did. We have several of the Sodexo food service folks with us in the room. Let's say thank you for the meal today. Was it good? Thank you very much. An annual honor established during the 2009 Centennial Founders Day celebration. The Centurion honor is given to NSU alumni, faculty and staff, students, or any member of the NSU community, whether past or present, who impacted the life of the nominator, the Northeastern community, or the public at large. A Centurion can be living or deceased and be someone who has embodied the legacy and spirit of Northeastern State University. An NSU Centurion is an individual whose leadership and commitment in the course of helping others has made a significant impact during the university's history. This past fall, we received a great response to our call for nominations, and I certainly appreciate the efforts of the screening committee who helped me review the nominations. Some of them are here, but let me tell you about the entire committee. The committee consisted of Dr. Billy Joe Davis, Mr. Bill John Baker, Ms. Beth Harrington, Ms. Ariel Barnett, Ms. Kimon Jones, Mr. Bill Pierce, and Ms. Brooklyn Neff. Joining us today are Kimon Jones, Brooklyn Neff, Ariel Barnett, and Bill John Baker. Would you all stand and let us say thank you for helping us? As we meet, I tell them it's a labor of love, and I really do appreciate how thoroughly and thoughtfully they go through a lengthy pool of recommendations. So personally, from me to you, thank you for giving of your time over the Christmas break and into the new year to make sure that we were ready for today. The title Centurion was used, as I said, in 2009 to recognize 100 individuals who made a lasting contribution to the NSU community in NSU's first 100 years as a public institution. To date, and including this year's honorees, we have recognized 227 outstanding individuals. 131 of the recipients were alums, 114, and some of these double dip, 114 were faculty members, 64 were staff members, and 17 have been recognized as a community supporter. Within this group, it's impressive. There are World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, the first female physician in Indian Territory, state representatives, 2 principal chiefs of the Cherokee Nation, the inaugural sponsor of the Black Student Association, a recipient of the NSU President's Award for Community Service. Chief Baker, you might know that person to be one, Dr. Isabel Baker. Teachers, athletes, a professional football player, university president, Fulbright scholars, entrepreneurs, alumni and foundation board members, bank presidents, donors, the creator of Campus Crusade for Christ, and many others. Simply stated, These recipients were out front type leaders. They were brave or are brave, courageous, and often ahead of their time. I believe it's fitting to connect with the qualities of a Roman centurion. History finds that a centurion was a professional officer in the Roman army after the Marian Reform of 107 BC. Typically leading from the front, centurions would occupy a position at the right side of the century formation, leading and inspiring their men by example. They also sought to display skill and courage that may have brought them to their rank in the first place. They were well-trained, well-educated. Centurions had one of the highest mortality rates because of where they marched into battle, in the front. Centurions were held personally responsible for the training, maintenance, and discipline of the legionnaires of their command. Just as a Roman centurion led their century from the front, so did, or so do, each of the centurions being recognized today. Each one led by example. The pursuit of excellence, compassion, and self-sacrifice for the benefit of others are just a few of the traits embodied by this year's inductees. This year, we recognize lifelong educators, veterans, inspirational leaders, public servants, 3 outstanding alumni, a graduate and later faculty member of the Cherokee Female National Seminary, and 1 member of the NSU Student Hall of Fame, and 1 member of the NSU Athletic Hall of Fame. Plainly stated, this year's inductees have faithfully carried forward the standards in the battles and opportunities of life. Their lives touched and improved the circumstances of countless others. As we gather on this special day, we want to say thank you to the 2022 Centurions for what has been done and will be done to enhance the NSU community and beyond. Thank you, Centurions. Following your selection as Centurions, our office, with the help of communications and marketing, developed a video which highlights the accomplishments of this year's inductees. Please enjoy the following video that best describes the 2022 Centurions.
Hi, I'm Joe Sears. I am one of the first 100 Centurions honored here by the university. It was an honor then, and it still is. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're educators, they are titans of industry. They represent NSU so well. So all you have to do is think about who's done this. And when you do that, you're taking care of the future of this university. Thank you very much.
Centurions are evangelists and authors, like Dr. William Bill Bright. State representatives and community supporters, like Bob Ed and Joellen Culver. Principals and leaders, like Dr. Ebony Johnson. Veterans and provosts, like Dr. Debbie Landry. Department chairs and mentors, like Dr. Daniel Savage. Faculty and Native American advocates, like LD Starr. Service members and generous donors, like Daryl Solinger. Professors and deans, like Dr. Paul Westbrook. Educators and historians, like Richard Zellner.
By the way, those little marble plaques with the names, that's in the main hallway on the first floor of Seminary Hall. So you'll have an opportunity. Make sure you remember that. Mr. Ken Thompson, will you make your way to the podium? At this time, it's our honor to recognize NSU's 2022 Centurions. Ken.
Thank you. As I begin the introductions, honorees or posthumous recipients, please make your way to the right of the stage for a photo with the president. Dr. William Bright. Dr. William Bright graduated from Northeastern State University in 1943 with a bachelor's degree in education. In 1951, Bright and his wife, Vonette, pursued their passion for ministry by founding Campus Crusade for Christ. During the organization's history, Bright changed tens of millions of lives through his leadership and faith. Dr. Bright is described as influential, devoted, inspiring. Accepting the award on his behalf is his son, Mr. Brad Bright. Bob Ed and Joellen Culver. Bob Ed Culver graduated from Northeastern State University in 1956. An Oklahoma State representative for a decade, he was Tahlequah's first civil defense director. Joellen Culver, who also attended NSU, is a proud matriarch of their family and has served Northeastern and the community through volunteer work for many years. Words used to describe Bob Ed and Joellen Culver are contributors, volunteers, lifetimes of service. Joellen will be accepting the award for herself and Bob Ed. Dr. Ebony Johnson. Dr. Ebony Johnson received her bachelor's and master's in education from Northeastern State University and her doctorate of education from the University of Oklahoma. A lifelong educator, she serves as the Chief Learning Officer for Tulsa Public Schools and as an adjunct professor in the College of Education at the University of Oklahoma. Words used to describe Dr. Johnson are involved, leader, intellectual. Awesome. Dr. Debbie Landry. Dr. Debbie Landry earned her bachelor's degree while serving in the Marine Corps. After serving her country and receiving multiple education degrees, she transitioned to teaching. At Northeastern State University, she worked her way through the ranks from assistant professor all the way to dean. She currently serves as provost and vice president for academic affairs. Words used to describe Dr. Landry are pillar, strong leader, role model. Dr. Debbie Landry. Dr. Daniel Savage. Dr. Dan Savage is a professor of political science and chair of the Department of Geography and Political Science at Northeastern State University. He received his doctorate in political science from the University of California. Savage began teaching at Northeastern State University in 2005 and has since become a mentor for new faculty. Words used to describe Dr. Savage are mentor, engaging, encouraging. Dr. Dan Savage. LD Star. LD Star, Sahaya Naxi, graduated with a bachelor's degree from the Cherokee Female Seminary in 1899. She completed over 30 years of service with the Department of the Interior, where she taught others how to perform Indian service work. Starr spent her life's work on behalf of Native citizens. The late Ms. Starr has been known to be positive contributor, dedicated to education, boundless integrity. Accepting the award on her behalf is President Steve Turner. Daryl Sullinger. Daryl Sullinger graduated from Northeastern State University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. A longtime member of the NSU Foundation Board of Trustees, he was a 2005 NSU Athletics Hall of Fame inductee and was named NSU's 2015 Outstanding Alumnus. Sullinger has donated nearly $500,000 to the NSU Foundation to fund several scholarships. Words used to describe Mr. Sullinger are impactful, generous, benefactor, and service-minded. Dr. Daryl Sullinger. Dr. Paul Westbrook. Dr. Paul Westbrook received his bachelor in speech education and his master's and doctorate in speech before arriving to teach at Northeastern State University in 1986. During and after his years as Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Westbrook was instrumental in facilitating unique learning opportunities. Words used to describe Dr. Westbrook are inspiring, sustaining, constant supporter. Dr. Paul Westbrook. Richard Zellner. Richard Zellner received his bachelor's degree in history education and master's degree in secondary education from Northeastern State University. After graduation, he went on to teach thousands of students, both as an adjunct professor at NSU and as a high school teacher at Tahlequah Junior High School. Words used to describe Mr. Zellner are mentor, passionate, inspiration. Accepting the award on his behalf is one of his daughters, Leslie Presley. You're up. You bet.
Let's thank Ken Thompson for helping us today. This time, I'd like to request a moment of silence for those Centurions recognized this year and from previous years who are no longer with us. For just a moment, let's reflect on their contributions to the NSU community and the impact that they can still have on our lives. Thank you. I think it's appropriate one more time. At this time, let's recognize all Northeastern State Centurions in the room, including this year's inductees. All of you, please stand. You've got medallions on. All Centurions, please stand. It's a great group. Thank you all for being here. We're moving closer to the end of the program, and let me share a few final thoughts with you. Since 2009, as I mentioned earlier, we've recognized 227 Centurions. These individuals came to us from many paths, and left us to create many new paths. However, it's Northeastern State University that is or was the unifying element in all of these paths. For LD Star, our predecessor, the Cherokee National Female Seminary, where she started down the path of knowledge. From my personal and professional opinion, education is the key to leadership, success, and overall happiness, and we need more of it, not less. The state of Oklahoma has created its list of 100 top critical occupations. You can see this list at oklahomaworks.gov. The list for 2020 through 2022 showed that 54 of the critical occupations required at least 1 degree, associates or higher, and 8 required multiple degrees. This list was recently updated and now goes to 2028. Now, 66 of the top critical occupations require at least 1 degree. That is an overall increase from a year ago in the last report. I think we all recognize that one of the things that brought on that increase is something that we've all lived with and some have died with, and that's the impact of COVID. We recognize we need more doctors, pulmonologists, nurses. We also need more teachers. We need more occupational therapists. We need more everything in our state if we're talking about education. At the top of the 10 highest paying jobs in Oklahoma of that list going through 2028, the top 10 highest paying jobs require a bachelor's degree or higher. 41 of the positions require a bachelor's degree and 8 require a master's or doctorate degree. 66 of the top 100 critical occupations. Founding father Benjamin Franklin wrote the book, The Way to Wealth. He said, which is often quoted, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. These quoted words are better understood, however, with its preceding lines where Franklin said the following: if a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it from him. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Franklin knew there was great value in knowledge and education. As a man of wisdom, he precisely explained the value of knowledge. No matter what we do, where we are, knowledge is something that no one can take away from us. It never gets depleted by any chance. Once acquired, it's bound to grow by pursuing further. I hope key leaders of the state of Oklahoma will renew their efforts to educate more of Oklahoma citizens by making a larger investment in higher education and NSU this session. Let's covenant together to create future centurions who will stand on the soldiers of those that came before them and those that changed our world, our community, and our institution for the better. I'd like to ask all of the 2022 Centurions to join me along the west wall for a group photo. You can start making your way that way. Following the photo, Ken Thompson will ultimately dismiss the group and you can congratulate the honorees. One last time, congratulations and thanks to the 2022 Centurions. Congratulations. And thank you all.